Shalom. I'd like to start out by giving all glory, praise, and honor to Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai Bahasham, or Chakwadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of the Great Millstone, and Shalom to the elect of Israel. This is Thamayim in Atlanta, and yesterday we went through Jeremiah 30 all the way down to 17, and we talked about Jacob's trouble, or we're going into it because of Jacob's trouble, and this is the hopeful year of Jacob's trouble. And so, reading yesterday made me come back to the verse 16 in Jeremiah 30, and it's just a good verse, so I wanted to take a deeper look into it. And so, Jeremiah 30 and verse 16, therefore, all they that devour thee shall be devoured, and all thine adversaries, every one of them, shall go into captivity, and they that spoil thee shall be a spoil, and all that prey upon thee will I give for a prey. And so it's pretty straightforward. It's eye for eye, tooth for tooth. It's what they put out is what's coming back onto them, or what they did to us shall be done unto them. And so, starting over, it says, therefore, all they that devour thee shall be devoured. And the Lord spoke of how he will devour our enemies. So we're going to go to Psalms 21 and verse 9. And it says, thou shalt make them as a fiery oven in the time of thine anger. The Lord, Yahweh Bahasham Yahweh Shai, shall swallow them up in his wrath, and the fire shall devour them. And that's nuclear fire, because there will be a nuclear war. Babylon the Great, aka America, will be destroyed forever. The land of Israel will also be nuked, but we will re-inhabit that land because that's the Lord's land. And there will be other nukes to hit other places around the world. They will be devoured with fire, that being the Lord's enemies, because they fought against the Lord and they fought against his people. And so they get devoured with fire. Jeremiah 30 and 16, and it says, in all, where we left off, therefore all they that devour thee shall be devoured, and all thine adversaries, every one of them, shall go into captivity. And so going into the adversaries of Jacob and the adversaries of the Lord, it breaks it down right here in Psalms 83. And I'm going to start at verse 2. It says, for lo, thine enemies make a tumult. The enemies are all of the other nations, everyone outside of the covenant, outside of the temple. And they that hate thee have lifted up the head. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people, and consulted against thine hidden ones. And that's us. They've worked together to take us down. It says, they have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. Because you don't know the world as a whole doesn't know who the true Israelites are at this point. They're starting to understand, but there have been so many lies and crafty counsel against the Israelites that it's turned the world into complete darkness. It says, for they have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against thee. So they're all working together to keep the Israelites down. It says, the tabernacles of Edom being the self-proclaimed white man. And it says, and the Ishmaelites, those are those Arabs, those Middle Easterners. Of Moab, there's the Chinese. And the Hagarenes, Gebal and Ammon, Ammon being the Japanese, and Amalek, those are those small hatters, the 1948ers that call themselves the Lord's people. The Philistines with the inhabitants of Tyre, so the Hamites too. And it's not going into Japheth too much at all, but they're enemies as well. And so everybody outside of the elect of Israel have made themselves enemies unto the Lord. Let's go back to Jeremiah. It says, "And all thine adversaries," we just went over all these enemies, "every one of them shall go into captivity." And so we've got to hit the classic in Revelation. Oops, went down a little too far. And we'll start at Revelation 13 and verse 9. "If any man have an ear, let him hear. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity." It's complete balance, and it's what the world would call karma, but it's really just the judgment of the Lord. So that he that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Here's the patience and the faith of the saints. So all those adversaries, they thought they were going to get away with what they've done, but they're just going to go into captivity when Yahushua returns. It says, "And they that spoil thee shall be a spoil." And so, let's go back real quick. And he said this about Esau and how he was going to be spoiled. In Jeremiah 10, or 49 and 10, "But I have made Esau bare. I have uncovered his secret places," and that's all these secrets that are coming out about his secret meetings and councils and, his Illuminati and all that stuff. That's common knowledge at this point, as well as the atrocities that the Edomites have committed over the years. People are looking at them side-eye now because of what they've done and all the lies that they've put out there. And these lies are being uncovered, first and foremost, by the apostles and elders, but all the men that are teaching the true doctrine are exposing the secret places of the Edomites. Their biggest secret being that they're not white, they're red, and that they're not Caucasians or whatever they want to call themselves. They're not by the lands that they've moved into. They go back to Esau. They're the children of Esau. They're not white people. It says, "I have uncovered his secret places, and he shall not be able to hide himself." So everybody's going to know just by looking at them, pretty much, in their spirits, that they are the wicked. And they're not going to be able to hide. It says his seed is spoiled, and they obviously have those low birth rates that they're always complaining about. Not to mention all the alphabet within them, and all their feminists, and their families just aren't forming, and they've been made small among the heathen. And it says, "And his brethren and his neighbors, and he is not." And so just to look at that spoiled there, because they will be spoiled. "They that spoil thee shall be a spoil, and all that prey upon thee will I give for a prey." And just go into, I think it's Zephaniah. Yeah. Zephaniah 3 and verse 8. "Therefore wait ye upon me, saith the Lord, Yahweh Bahashem Yahushai, until the day that I rise up to the prey." So at first we were prey, but the Lord's going to prey upon them. For my determination is to gather the nations, that I may assemble the kingdoms to pour upon them mine indignation. And so he's going to gather them into the valley of Yahweh-Shaphat, or Jehoshaphat, for the battle of Armageddon, the mountain of troops. It says to pour upon them mine indignation. So they're all going to slaughter each other down there, and they're going to send off nukes. America's going to get destroyed. Yahushua is going to return with his chariots, clean them up, and it's going to be, they should be trembling. But it says, even all my fierce anger, for all the earth shall be devoured with the fire of my jealousy. And so they will be a prey. All that they have done is going to turn around on them, especially the Edomites, because the other nations will get to go back and inhabit their own lands under the law, statutes, and commandments, and under Yahushua and the Israelites. But the Edomites will not have that opportunity. They will be Obadiah 1 and 18, or what you call genocided off of the earth, because wickedness will have no place in a kingdom of righteousness. It says, and all they that spoil thee shall be a spoil, and all that prey upon thee will I give for a prey. And I think what sums this up pretty well, and I mentioned this yesterday, is Amos 9 and 11. And I mentioned this going into raising up, or he mentioned raising up David in Jeremiah 30, or the throne of David. And so here in Amos 9 and 11, it says, in that day will I raise up the tabernacle of David that is fallen, and close up the breaches thereof, and I will raise up his ruins, and I will build it as in the days of old. So raising up the tabernacle of David, the house of David, and his house consisted of Israelites from all the tribes, mighty men, and they had all of the other nations round about in captivity. They were, what was it called, fetchers of water, and he spoke of Moab being his washpot. Over Edom will I cast my shoe. But the tabernacle of David, or the house of David, rising up, is going to put down all these other nations. It says that they may possess the remnant of Edom. So there's a remnant of Israel, or an elect of Israel, but there's also a remnant, or it's really the unelect of Edom, because it's their elite and hiding in their bunkers, and they're going to survive this destruction, but they're going to be taken out of their bunkers violently and thrown into chains so that they can build up the kingdom. It says that they may possess the remnant of Edom and of all the heathen which are called by my name, saith the Lord Yahweh that doeth this. Behold, the days come, saith the Lord, that the plowman shall overtake the reaper, and the treader of grapes him that soweth seed. And so there's a big changing of places that's coming. This is not the final iteration of how the earth will be. It's the kingdom of Israel, because that'll be an everlasting kingdom under Yahushua. And it says, and the mountains shall drop sweet wine, and all the hills shall melt, because Yahushua is coming to put down all rule, power, and authority, and so this world can go on in righteousness. And so, Lord willing, that was edifying. I'd like to give all glory, praise, and honor to Yahweh Bahasham, Yahushua Bahasham, Rakach Wadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of the great millstone, and shalom to the elect of Israel. Shalom.